Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor to present to you one of my frequent collaborators, and he's doing fantastic things in his young career so far, Mr. Ben Wasserman. Ben, thank you. Thank you for coming to the Respect and Pray show. How are you doing, man?
No, I'm doing great, Miguel. We were speaking a little bit before the show. The Yankees are in the championship. A little nervous for Friday, but very, very excited. First time in 15 years since I was 7 years old. But Miguel, I'm grateful to be on this show. I know I've been on a bunch of your other shows, the sports ones, but excited for this one. Appreciate the invite.
Yes, for sure, man. I knew that I couldn't finish the Respect and Pray show without interviewing you because you have been on a tear, putting in work. I'm seeing what you're doing behind the scenes, so I'm happy for you, man. You know that we've spoken about this before. But I want to start from the beginning, Ben. Were you born and raised in New Jersey or
Yes.
okay?
Yep, born and raised in North Jersey. I could just say the town. I don't really care. Randolph, New Jersey. That's where I live now. I say to everybody, I'll probably be living in New Jersey or at least the tri-state area, New York, Jersey, Connecticut, for my whole life. The food is too good. My family's here. My sports teams are here. So yeah, I love it here. New Jersey gets a lot of slack. I lived in Pennsylvania for 4 years, obviously going to school there at Penn State. Everyone was like, NJ is trash. NJ is this. I'm like, you guys have no idea. New Jersey is great. So yep, that's where I am right now.
Yeah, I've always had a love for New Jersey. One of my sisters lived in New Jersey, so and I've had a cousin of mine who used to live in New Jersey. So I always had a kind of like a special attachment to it. And even during the middle of the pandemic, I used to go to New Jersey for like restaurants and things like that. So I have nothing but good things to say about New Jersey. The thing is that people, if they focus on the news on just like certain parts of New Jersey, then they're gonna generalize everything. But New Jersey has a lot to offer. So when the time is right, hopefully one day I'll troop over there and do something over there, whether it's making a movie or something, record, I'll just do something. But I'm glad to hear that, you wanna be a Jersey guy for life there.
For
So
sure.
but and speaking of Pennsylvania, obviously, you went to Penn State, great institution. Football team is undefeated so far.
Yes,
Your time at Penn State, you majored in telecommunications, is that right?
correct.
And what was it about Penn State that stood out to you? What did you took from there? And how did the telecommunications program and any of the things that you participated helped you now? So anything that you have to say about Penn State, any shout outs you want to give, feel free to do it now.
Yeah, for sure. It's a loaded question. I think there's like th two or three questions in one there. I'll start off with the beginning. When I was a senior in high school, obviously I'm a sports fanatic, but all my teams that I liked were pro sports. I didn't have a favorite college team. So when I was a senior in high school, my brother took me with his friend and his son, so it was the four of us, to the 2019 Penn State Whiteout game. And that was like my recruiting trip, even though I wasn't an athlete, I was just an ordinary kid, but that was like the recruiting trip. And obviously I kind of knew when I was going to leave there that I was going to want to go to Penn State. I was going to love the school. That's exactly what happened. For those that know college football or just know a lot about Penn State, that was the game where Michigan they took the timeout on the first play. The place was insane. They played Mo Bamba. So it was being there, talking with the students, because I was like, I might come here. I just chatted with a bunch of students, obviously seeing the campus and going to the game. I was like, I have to go there. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't a genius in high school. I didn't get accepted into University Park. So I went to the Penn State Commonwealth campus. The only people that know about the Commonwealth campuses are the people that go to the Commonwealth campuses. So I spent my first 2 years at Penn State Altoona. It was what it was, right? I mean, I made the most of it, met a lot of great people there, met my girlfriend there that I'm still dating now. And I knew when I was at Penn State Tuna, I needed to set myself up for when I get to the main campus. Because basically, in my mind, my college career, it's bad to say this, but it was really 2 years when I was at University Park. So I set myself up in a good way, just doing different things, connecting with the right people, learning about myself. And then, yeah, at University Park, Had a great time. Obviously, social life was great, but really just learned the power of the Penn State network. So that goes into your question, like, what did I learn? It wasn't much my degree. I think Penn State, and I've said this to people there, they all really agree with me. I think Penn State has a lot to improve in terms of the communication school and especially the telecom degree. It's very broad. What I liked is the social media business aspect. They don't have a social media degree, and the business school is very towards kind of the finance throughout. So that wasn't really towards me either, but I learned about the power of the Penn State network. So, getting close with professors. I'll do a few shout outs. Mike Porman is like my guy, like my mentor, my one of my professors at school taught me so much just about connecting, putting your name out there, everything that goes along with really how to be successful. But yeah, learn about the power of the network and what Penn State has to offer with the network, with different clubs, different organizations. And really, I say this to everybody. Penn State is great, even if you just go to the classrooms, but Penn State offers so much in terms of what you can do and what you can get involved with. I had a bunch of friends that broadcasted Penn State football games. I got involved on the radio side. I interviewed the Penn State baseball coach, interviewed some other cool people. But really, that's my biggest takeaway. There's so many great people there. There's so many great people that went there, and everybody wants to help you achieve your dreams. But you got to go out and do things. So your question is kind of loaded. I hope that helps. I'm sure there's some follow-ups there, but that's kind of my response to that.
No, that was good. I mean, this is what I do on this podcast for. I give the moment for person that I'm interviewing, give all the time that they need to talk because at the end of the day, not just myself, but also people I'll be watching will be watching this. I want to learn more about you, and you don't know who might be inspiring. So,
Yeah.
but that was definitely great. Even a couple of answers that you gave me there was brand new, fresh to me. The fact that you were there for 2 years and stuff like that. And but hey, one thing that we always say is that networking is very crucial, and I feel that many people don't take it as serious as they should, but you have to be network, and in order to network you really have to be initiative. That's a big part of your DNA. You have to be initiative. You have to be willing to go out there and meet people, introduce yourself, and ask questions. That's another thing. People are hesitate to ask questions because they're either afraid of getting ignored or things like that, but that's gonna happen. You just got to keep riding the bicycle. You got to keep going. So you're gonna get some yeses, you're gonna get nos, but the important thing is you got to do your part. So networking is vital. And that leads me to a follow-up question. Today's sports, you
Yes.
know, which guys, if you follow Ben, then you know how huge um he promotes and supports on today's sports. How did that come about? I know you're not the CEO, but you know, you're a big part of that. So how did that come about?
Yeah, I appreciate it. I was gonna get into it earlier, but I feel like I was talking for a while. So junior year, did my 2 years at Penn State Altoona. Again, knew what I liked, who I needed to be connected with, so that really helped. Junior year, I was sitting at the hub. It's like the main spot. I think every college has it. There's food, just different areas to chill out. I was on LinkedIn, and at this point in my junior year, I had one goal, and that was to get a summer internship. So I would go on LinkedIn, I would connect with everybody, people that worked for the Yankees, people that worked with Fox Sports, just connect with everybody. One time I was scrolling on LinkedIn and I see Justin Lusner, who's now my current boss, one of my good friends. And in 1 week, he was at a Penn State game. He helped the Penn State quarterback with one of his NIL efforts, and he was at a Phillies championship game. And I was like, this kid's sick. And he's younger than me. He was a sophomore at the time. I was like, this kid's awesome. So I messaged him. We got Chipotle. And, we kind of just kicked it off. We were just homies. A few weeks later, he's like, I'm starting this live sports show. I'd love to see you there. You have a background in making content. You have a good personality. Went to that sports show. One thing led to another where we continued doing that show. We had a group of like 30, 40 people that would show up every day. talk sports. It was just a basketball show. And behind the scenes, Justin, who's the CEO, Grant, who's now the COO, and Austin, who now runs the basketball page solely, they were growing a basketball today social media page, which is now our biggest brand, big basketball media pages, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. And I wasn't part of that because I didn't like, talking basketball, but I was friends with them. I saw what they were doing. I was in a sports business club meeting, and it was alerted to me that Gatorade Fast Twitch was looking for brand ambassadors. So I had a call with them. This is now post junior year. This is the summer. So they were planning for the next year, my senior year. And they said that they wanted college brand ambassadors. I was like, well, I'll do it, but I'm also involved with Today's Sports. It wasn't really like a full business at that time. I was like, I'm involved with Today's Sports. I can get my buddies to also be brand ambassadors, and we could promote on Basketball Today. So hit them from both angles, that in-person activation and on social media. They're like, that's awesome. Let's do it. And from that point on, myself, in terms of the business, I kind of just paved my lane because I started networking with different people, and different opportunities, business opportunities just came about very naturally. And, Justin and the leadership team, we had meetings all the time, and we really just formulated the business together, and my role organically. So that's kind of how it all came about. And now, thankfully, I have a full-time job after school. I graduated in May, and I deal with just the partnerships. So unfortunately, Gatorade Fast Switch is no longer one of our partners, but been able to work with some really cool brands, promoting on social media, doing in-person activations, helping companies grow on social media, making content for them. So in terms of how the business started and how I got involved, it was basically all at the same time. And good things happen when you connect with the right people and put yourself in good spots.
What is your favorite breakfast meal?
Oh, good question. I think it has to be. We were talking about Jersey before. Bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel. Of course, I'm a little biased, but the place right down the street from me has the all-time best bagels. Shout out Brooklyn Bagel, Randolph, New Jersey. That's got to be the best meal.
You gotta send me a link of that or something so I could
I
check it out
will,
someday.
100%.
For sure, for sure. Your top three travel destinations that's on your bucket list.
Oh, it's actually funny you say that too. I was looking at different places to go to in 2025. Number one is Italy. My best friend, who I've known for a long time, was born and raised in Italy. He then came to America. His whole family is from Italy. They now live in America. But that's like my number one spot for the food, for the fact that my best friend's from there and he has family there, and just like history, everything. It's just amazing. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. Number two, and I might be going, probably will be going to this place. No, not probably. I will be going to this place in 2025, Montreal, Canada. I'm a huge hockey fan. Montreal is like the birthplace of hockey. I gotta go. Number three, I would probably say it's tough. I'm always like thinking about where I want to go because I do like traveling. I would say number three is Spain. Um, Beautiful place. My brother went to Barcelona, said great things. Got to check out a soccer game there. And it's just awesome. So there it is, top three.
I have so many places that I want to go because I'm a travel person myself. From 20, from I would say from consistently from 2015 through 2021, I was traveling a lot. But those places that you mentioned are very high on my bucket list. Italy, but we're talking
Yeah.
about Venice, Rome, Florence. I gotta check those places out at some point for and those reasons that you gave, especially the food. Definitely want to check that out. France is definitely on my list. London is on my list as well. There's just so many that I want to do in my lifetime. So, but hey, as long as you set a budget, and that's one thing about me, I'm a budget traveler. So I make sure that I write down what exactly I'll be spending for this amount, this amount, this amount. time management, budgeting, all of that is very crucial. As I got older and with the experience, I had to do those things, and it has worked like a charm for me. So those are great options right there. And I like that you said that you corrected yourself, that you went from probably to I will. I like that. Always have high expectations. So I'm glad that you said that. We got to speak it to existence. You guys have to start expecting in things that you desire and things that you like. So to continue, hmm, best ballpark experience so far.
Oh, I haven't been to a ton. I've been to Yankee Stadium a ton of times. City Field is amazing. I went to Fenway for a tour, not for a game. PNC Park is great. I would say, honestly, the best, and I probably went back and forth with this a bunch of times, but my list is small, so there's only a few options. But I would honestly say the most fun that I've had at a game or just like overall, like, wow, this place is sick. It's a toss up between PNC Park and Citi Field. Now, I think both those stadiums are built for people to have fun. Yankee Stadium's not built for people to have fun. It's built for rich people to be there and watch the product, but there's not really places to hang out or look at cool things. PNC Park, the scenery is great. There's so many places where you could just chill. City Field in the outfield with the Shake Shack and all of that and the bridge. That would probably be my two answers. I know you're looking for one. It's kind of a toss up, but City Field, PNC Park are the best two. But again, I haven't been to a ton. I got to go back to Fenway.
I was fortunate to go to Fenway for Memorial Day weekend. This was back in 2018. And it was me, my brother-in-law, and my sister. My brother-in-law drove us over there. And we came back the same day. We were crazy. We went and we came back the
Wow.
same day. But I definitely want to go back there again. But I want to experience like more of Boston, Massachusetts. And but it was an unbelievable experience going to the Fenway. Obviously, the next time that I go, I had to pick a better seat because the area that we were sitting was very uncomfortable. But hey, the fact that I get to say that I went to Fenway, yes, they're my rivals, but the experience it was matter more than anything. And we stopped a couple of places that were nice there as well. So Boston is a very nice city, clean city, but I definitely want to go back there to get more feel of it. Um, Two more questions. What are I could say you can name 1 to 3 skill sets that you wish you would have had.
Wish I would have had.
Yeah.
Like
You
I
can
don't
name
have.
anywhere from 1 to 3.
Okay. I don't know if this is really a skill, but I wish I was a little bit more patient. I think it's a skill that I wish I had, slash, sometimes I think it's good that I don't have it because it's good to be persistent and follow up with people. But I'm just not patient and it's just drive myself crazy sometimes. Number two, I wish I could just relax. And I think that goes along with not being patient. I mean, I'm super young and I'm high energy and I want to do as much as possible every single day. But sometimes, not during like the football season, but let's just say like a Sunday in the summer when there's nothing going on, when people would be like, "Oh yeah, I'm just chilling." I don't know. I can't really just do that. So I wish I could just relax sometimes and be more patient, but I think it's good that I'm not that way.
Last but not least, the money question. If there's any celebrity, dead or alive, that you would want to sit down and have a conversation with,
Oh, I
who would
love
it
this
be?
question.
Who
How
would it
many
be?
can I choose?
For this one, I'll be generous. I usually go at one, but I'm gonna say five. You're
Five.
starting five. You're starting five.
Well, first, before I answer, I think it's really good to have people to look up to. So I honestly think about this question a lot. My starting five, number one, this person is just my favorite athlete, and Miguel, you probably know, everybody knows. So Garrett Cole, you gave me five, so I'm actually going to choose
Yeah.
a lot. Garrett Cole, Aaron Judge, come on, the faces of the Yankees. Three, Gary Vaynerchuk. I have been a fan of Gary V for a long, long time. He's Jewish like myself. He's a grinder. He's built businesses. He's hilarious. Doesn't give, I don't know if I could curse on here, doesn't give anything. So he's awesome. That's three. Number four, Dana White, the president and the CEO of the UFC. I love the UFC, but I'd want to sit down with him and talk business and mindset because if you actually listen to the podcast that he's in and follow him, he gives fantastic mindset and business tips. It's crazy. And then number five, um, ooh, number five would be tough. I'm gonna stay apolitical here. I think number five would probably be Logan Paul or Trump. Not Trump, just take out the politics, just talk business. The guy is a grinder. I mean, he's 70 something years old, wakes up every day and never takes a day off. So whether you like him or hate him, that's my starting five. Dana White, Trump, Gary V, Aaron Judge, Garrett Cole. I got two athletes and three other extremely successful business people. But yeah, that's my five.
Yeah, and that's how you gotta say like you gotta separate one thing from another. Trump, like him or hate him, when it comes to business, that man is straight up business. He's a genius.
Yeah.
I have two of his books, and because it's mostly on the business side, real estate and business side, that I mostly got his books, and the man is full of gems. I usually don't share that part, but because I was generous and I gave you five, your starting five, I'm gonna share my starting five with you. Something that I haven't done with none of my guests,
Oh, I'm
but for
pumped.
some reason I'm doing it here with you. So the five people that I would, because I don't no longer say that this person is my idol or this and that, but I'll say that I appreciate their work. So my starting five would be
Love it.
Jeff Bezos, Jim Carrey, Jim Carrey because he was vital for me in terms of becoming a fan of being a movie buff, a person that comedy became my favorite genre. So Jim Carrey was that person for me. So I would say Jeff Bezos, Jim Carrey, Derek Jeter.
Great pick.
I will throw Chump there just because I like his business mindset. There's one more, and I had it in my tongue as well.
So
Mm.
while you think the
Is it?
people that I had to cut off were Elon, I've listened to him.
I might have. If you want to mention honorable mention, feel free to do so while I think.
Yes. So my honorable mentions were Elon. I cut him off because listening to him speak is kind of a drag sometimes, but he's a genius. And Logan Paul, because I follow Logan Paul for a long, long time, and he's just an absolute beast in everything that he does.
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna mention Gary Vee because I do watch his videos a lot. So I'll mention him especially from a social media marketing standpoint. The man is he motivates you. He motivates you.
Yep.
So and he's a straight shooter. If the minute that he hears you doubting yourself, he will not stay shut. He'll say something right away. And I'm loving his new book, by the way, Day Trading Attention. Phenomenal stuff. So I will say, yeah, Gary Vee, Donald Trump, Jeff Bezos, Jim Carrey, Derek Jeter, and an honorable mention. I would say because he's influential for me from a radio slash podcast standpoint, I'm gonna say Mike Francesa.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say the Mad Dog. Oh, well, Francesca.
Hey, those two can go together because they were together for 19 years. So
Yes, of
both of them
course.
together. I mean, it all started at the Yes Network when I would listen to them, And now that Mike Francesa and both of them they're separated, I still listen to Mike Francesa each and every day. But yeah, I mean you could put them together, but yeah, those guys are very influential for me from a radio and podcast standpoint.
Love it.
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna say one more. Now that we're from a radio podcast standpoint, and I got this from him in terms of respecting his guests, but also non-confrontational. Because one thing about me, now that I'm more deeper into podcasting, I'm a person that is non-confrontational, and I like respecting my guests, let them talk. Um, he's no longer with us, but if he was here, I definitely would like to pick his brain, and that's Larry King.
Oh, good pick.
Yeah. So there. Those are my starting five plus honorable mentions. So thank you,
Nice.
Ben, for that. This was great. That concludes of the game. And now to wrap up the interview, I'm gonna go with these two questions. Number one, in your opinion, this is no right or wrong answer. In your opinion, what are the three essential skills that you must have for brand partnerships?
Oh, I'm no expert in this, but I would say three skills that you got to have is you got to be a grinder. So, you know, I mean, you could put a definition of whatever you think, but you got to be a grinder and you got to want it. Two, you got to have great communication skills, like talking to people, getting on calls, meeting people in person, being outgoing. And then number three, I think it's really good. I don't know if this is a skill or not. Yeah, I think it is, just to be even keel. We talked about it before. People are afraid to ask questions or people are afraid to hear no. In partnerships, in sales, in really any job that you're communicating with people, you got to stay even keel. Things are going to go wrong. You're going to get no's. Things are going to go great. You could celebrate those for a short period of time. But just like in sports, the Yankees clinched the championship on Saturday. They celebrated for one night and now they're back to work. They were back to work on Sunday. They're back to work today. And it's the same thing in business. You could celebrate for a short period of time. You could be down for a short period of time, but just be consistent each and every day. And that's what leads to good things.
What's the best advice that you've received so far early on in your career?
Oh, the best advice. That's a tough question. I would say I don't even know if this is like advice. I mean, there's so many just nuggets, some that stick with me for a while, some that come up in different situations that I remember. But I think the best advice is like try and meet people in person because meeting people in person is about 100 times better than online. Like Miguel, I'd love to meet you in person, but when
It'll
people,
happen someday. Don't worry.
yes,
Patience is
yes,
a virtue.
when you meet people in person, they remember you and just things happen. Like I could probably go on 4 connection calls with the same person and we'll, I guess be friends, but I can meet that person in person for 30 minutes one time and they'll just remember you, talk about you. And when there's a business deal, they'll come to you. So that's like my advice. I don't know, like there's not like one specific person who told me that, but it's just been something that I'm always thinking about. Like, all right, when I go into the city, who can I meet this time, or what can I set up? Because a lot of great things happen in this remote, and a lot of great things happen in person when we're all working in this remote environment. So that's kind of the differentiator.
Where can we follow you and your work?
Yeah, so LinkedIn, my name, Ben Wasserman, BenWasserman. On Instagram, it's ben.wasserman_. I messed up early on in my social media day, not putting everything the same. TikTok, Ben the Sports Guy, Twitter, Ben Wasserman 4. On all of them, you could probably just type in my name, but if you really care about what I'm doing, just shoot me a follow and connect on LinkedIn.
Sounds great. I'll put that information on the description. Ben, this has been a fantastic interview. It's always great when we talk, whether it's sports or life, business in general is always great. I'm grateful that we've got to meet each other. It's always great to chop it up with you. And thank you so much for taking the time to join this podcast, the Respect and Pray Show. Salute you, man, to everything that you're doing. And keep on going, man. You're off to doing amazing things. Shout out to Today Sports. Continue to do what you guys are doing. I've been following. So, never give up, continue to grind. And I can't wait to see what more you're going to be doing going forward. So thank you, man.
Well, Miguel, I appreciate that. And thank you for letting me on here and chopping it up.